We're all living in this age of artificial intelligence, right? It's a technology with just incredible world-changing promise. But here's the thing. That promise is built on a foundation that's creating a massive clash with one of our most basic rights, our privacy. This is the story of that collision and how we might just find a way through it.
So, to really get your head around AI, you first have to understand its appetite. It's huge. Modern AI, especially the crazy powerful models we're always hearing about, they aren't just smart because of some clever code. No, the reason they're so smart is that they have feasted on an absolutely unimaginable amount of information. Data is their lifeblood. It's the fuel that makes the whole engine run. And right here is the twist in the story. Just as AI's need for data went from huge to basically infinite, a huge global movement just exploded onto the scene to protect that very same information. For years, our personal data was just scraped up, bundled together, and sold with almost no oversight. But now, countries all over the world are throwing up these legal walls to try and give us back some control.
So this sets up the central conflict of our time, really. How in the world do we square AI's relentless hunger for more data with our fundamental right to privacy? Can these two powerful forces actually learn to coexist, or is one of them just destined to smash the other?
Let's start by taking a closer look at that wall. And you should know, it's not like one single, simple brick wall. Oh no. It's a super complex, overlapping patchwork of regulations coming from every corner of the globe. And it is getting taller and way more complicated with each passing year.
Okay, so what's really wild about this timeline is just how fast everything is happening. You see, it kicks off in 2018 with GDPR in Europe, which was this landmark law that totally changed the game. Then, boom, California follows, then South Africa. And just look at 2024 and 2025, it's a flurry of new acts aimed squarely at big tech and, for the very first time, at AI itself. This isn't a slow trend, folks. It's a full-on tidal wave of new rules. And this right here is why it all gets so complicated. Even when everyone has the same goal, protect people's data, the rules can be completely different. In Europe, with GDPR, privacy is the default. Companies have to get your explicit yes before they can touch your data. But in California, it's kind of the other way around. They can collect your data by default until you go out of your way to tell them, no, stop. Now, just imagine you're a global company trying to keep all this straight. It's an absolute compliance nightmare. But look, just navigating that legal maze is only the first part of the challenge. Even when a company gets the data legally, a much deeper, more technical problem pops up. It's not just about having the right to use the data. It's about understanding what in the world the AI is actually doing with it once it's inside the machine. This gets us to something known as the black box problem. See, with a simple computer program, you can trace every single step of its logic. But the most advanced AIs, they have these incredibly complex internal networks. It gets so complicated that a lot of the time, even the brilliant engineers who built the thing can't fully explain why it made one specific decision over another. It's just a black box. And this is where things get really tricky. It turns out there's this fundamental trade-off. Often, the more powerful and accurate you make an AI model, the more opaque and unexplainable it becomes. And for privacy, well, that is a massive problem. I mean, think about it. How can you have rights over your data if literally no one can explain how it was used to make a decision about you? So why should you care about this abstract black box stuff? Well, let's bring it right down to earth with a real-world scenario. We all know companies check out social media when they're hiring. According to the Auditor Journal, over 70% of recruiters are already doing it. Now, just imagine handing that job over to a black box AI. What could possibly go wrong? Well, this is exactly what can go wrong. Amazon actually tried to build an AI to screen resumes, but here's the catch. It was trained on historical hiring data, and that data was heavily skewed towards men. So what did the AI do? It taught itself to be biased. It literally learned to penalize resumes that had the word women's in them, like captain of the women's chess club, and it automatically downgraded graduates from 2 all-women's colleges. The crazy part is, no one programmed it to be sexist. It just learned it from the data, and that bias was hidden deep inside the black box. Okay, so yeah, that all sounds pretty bleak, right? But what if there was a way to get the best of both worlds? What if we could give AI all the data it needs to be powerful, but do it in a way that protects our privacy and ensures fairness right from the start? This is where a whole new class of technologies enters the picture. They're called privacy-enhancing technologies, or PETs for short. And this isn't just one single thing. It's a whole family of different tools, all designed to solve this exact conflict. They give us a path to unlock all the amazing value in data without having to compromise our privacy and our security to do it. So, let's pop open this toolkit, shall we? We're going to take a quick look at 3 of the most powerful and promising PETs out there. And don't worry, we're going to skip the super technical jargon and just focus on how they work in simple terms. All right, first up, we have synthetic data. The stunt double analogy is seriously perfect here. You start with real, sensitive data, and you use it to train another AI, a generator. That generator then creates a brand new, completely artificial set of data that has all the same statistical patterns as the original, but, and this is the key part, it contains 0 actual personal information. So the AI model can train on this safe, synthetic stunt double. Next on the list is federated learning. The analogy here is that the teacher visits the students instead of the other way around. Think about how your phone can predict the next word you're going to type. Instead of sending all your private text messages to some central server, the AI model is actually sent down to your phone to learn locally. Then it just sends a tiny anonymous summary of what it learned back up. Your private data never has to leave your device. And finally, we get to the one that honestly sounds like it's straight out of a sci-fi movie. Homomorphic encryption. This is a revolutionary, almost magic kind of encryption that lets a computer perform calculations on data while it is still completely encrypted. It's like having a locked box that you can't see into, but you can stick your hands into special gloves to move things around inside. You can process secrets without ever revealing them. It's amazing. Okay, so what's the big picture here? When you put all these tools together, what do you get? Well, these PETs aren't just clever technical fixes. They really represent a fundamental shift in how we think about building AI. We're moving away from a model of just extracting data to a new one based on protecting it by design. At the end of the day, the goal here is to build something we can call trustworthy AI. By using these tools, we can finally strike that critical balance between innovation and protection. I mean, think about it. Hospitals could work together on life-saving research without ever sharing a single patient's private file. We could fight the kind of bias Amazon saw by creating perfectly balanced synthetic data to train on. It's all about building trust into the system from the very first line of code, not as an afterthought. And this really paints a much more hopeful picture for the future, doesn't it? The whole conversation is starting to shift. We can finally start moving past this idea that it has to be AI versus privacy. With smarter technology and a real commitment to building trust, we can stop seeing this as a choice we have to make. The real challenge is to engineer a future where we get powerful innovation and rock-solid privacy together. And that brings us to the big final question. The technology is here. The new laws are forcing the conversation. The demand from all of us for both smart systems and personal privacy is only getting louder. The real test now is whether we have the will to actually put all these pieces together, to build an AI that doesn't just calculate things for us, but one that actually earns our trust.